The real question is, who are you gonna call? Oh shit. Ghostbusters Afterlife stars Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Carrie Coon. When a single mom and her two kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. Now, I did not by any means grow up with the original Ghostbusters. That movie is obviously before my time. I have seen it, and I find enjoyment in it. I just don't necessarily love it like I know some people do. But I was looking forward to this movie, as I did see that it had some really good potential, as it's coming from Jason Reitman, who is the son of Ivan Reitman, the guy who brought us the original Ghostbusters. And yeah, it's safe to say I really enjoyed this movie. This is arguably one of the funniest movies of the year, surprisingly. And when I say surprisingly, I knew it was going to be funny, but it's not marketed as a comedy. It obviously has comedy elements like the original Ghostbusters, but these are definitely more sci-fi movies. I would say every single joke in this movie had me at least chuckling, if not more, even laughing. It's so charming, and a lot of that is due to the superb cast. Newly crowned sexiest man alive, Paul Rudd, is in this movie. I can't see how someone would dislike Paul Rudd. This guy has chemistry with any actor that he works with, and I feel like that's all due to the fact that he is a very heartwarming person. I don't really need to go on any more than that because we all know who Paul Rudd is, and he is great here. McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard are both very good. Big standout for me, at least, was Logan Kim, who plays a character named Podcast. He stole the show here. He is so funny. To some, he might come across as a bit annoying. To me, I felt that he completely worked. He is purely the comic relief, but I don't care. He was funny as hell. And then I don't want to touch on this too much because I do want you to experience who these surprise members are. It's no secret that they are in this movie, as it's literally in one of the ads, but when they showed up, I got chills. This entire movie is just a big breath of fresh air. And maybe I'm just easy to please, but this movie felt so fresh to me. Granted, I wasn't going in with that high of expectations, but I came out so pleased. This entire movie is a blast, and it's such a fun adventure. This movie also has a great summer vibe to it. While I was watching it, I actually was feeling sad that it wasn't summer anymore. It is set in summer, so that obviously has something to do with it. But the adventure and fantasy aspects of this movie really made me feel like I was almost watching The Goonies. And The Goonies is one of my favorites, so I'm not complaining. The score is very good as well, and it has a lot of spooky, undertones to it. I will admit the movie does heavily rely on nostalgia. And for those who are a big fan of the franchise, it will hit you in the feels come that third act. But for someone like me, I wasn't necessarily tearing up at the end of the movie. That's not to say the movie isn't emotional. It just does rely on nostalgia a bit too much. But the last thing I want to say is this movie plays homage perfectly to Harold Ramis. Like I mentioned, I won't get into specifics. You can tell this is a passion project from a lot of people behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, it's really sweet how they just wanted to pay homage to their friend and beloved co-star. And the way that this movie ends is damn near perfect. Like I mentioned before, I didn't go into Ghostbusters Afterlife with super high expectations, wanting this to be the best thing since the original. But it is honestly the best thing since the original. If anything, this movie made me more of a fan of that original movie. It's funny, heartwarming, charming. The entire ensemble is fantastic. The visual effects are also very good, and there is a handful of practical effects here and there that I did enjoy. It's just a fun fantasy summer adventure that I really didn't want to end. It pays its respects beautifully to Harold Ramis. I loved seeing all the familiar faces, and this was a big breath of fresh air. I'm going to give Ghostbusters Afterlife a B+. This is the movie that I needed to watch today, and this is how you reignite a franchise. Thank you so much for watching this review, and if you did enjoy it, consider giving it a like as well as subscribing and hitting that notification bell to get notified whenever new videos like this go live. Look forward to a bunch more videos coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.